Well, what's going on, guys? Out here today, and we're fixing to change or at least try to change. Hope everything works out good, but gonna be changing the wheel hubs. We're gonna be changing both of them. I'm only gonna show y'all one because it's pretty much the same for the other one. But I've been noticing some. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I've been getting ever since, my wheel hubs or my lug nuts or studs or whatever, they broke off. I've been having a little bit of vibration. If normally just anybody to get in my truck, they probably wouldn't even notice it. But me, being I know the truck, I notice it. It's not much. You barely can tell it. But one thing I've been noticing too is, and I thought it was just the tire. Buddy C Farmer, he drove it, and he believes that it's the same as on his, that the wheel bearings and everything are going out. So I'm gonna go over and replace both hubs. They get y'all out of the sun here, but I'm finna turn y'all around and show you. You may not be able to see it. I barely can see it, but you can barely see the wheel sort of move back and forth whenever you take like a pry bar and put it in there. So that's a sign. And then but like I said, the other thing that I've been noticing is about 55 to 60 miles an hour. It almost sounds like a very aggressive like mud tire, and I get up a little bit faster than that, it sort of mellows out and sort of goes away. But about 55-60 miles an hour, that's what it sounds like. And these tires, I mean, they're not a mud tire. I mean, they're an aggressive all-terrain tire, but I don't know. So but anyway, what it sounds like about 55-60 miles an hour, it just goes rump, 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 rump. So like that. And so I'm sort of thinking that's probably what it is, the wheel bearing's going bad. So, but I'm gonna turn y'all around real quick, and I'm gonna hopefully y'all can see this. All right. Alright, so I got y'all set up. Like I said, hopefully y'all can see this. I'm taking my big old pry bar right here, and basically I'm just sort of sticking it. See if I can turn y'all up real quick. Just that little stud right there, and I'm just going to rest it on the hub. Turn y'all around, and then basically what we'll do is just pick up and turn y'all back around. Hopefully y'all can see it move. Like I said, you barely can see it, and you can sort of feel it a little bit, not too much. I don't know if y'all can see that. The truck is jacked up, so the wheel's off the ground. Hopefully y'all can see that. But alright guys, so we're gonna start by taking the wheel off and take this little cover off, these little plastic lug nuts. On mine it's 2022 Chevy, or not a 2022, I wish it was 2022, 2012 Chevy Silverado 3500 HD dually. But these little plastic pieces, they take a 22 millimeter. So you ain't got to use the impact or nothing like that, because you don't want to strip them. So just take them and just unturn them. I've already done all these. And guys, if you remember, this is the wheel right here that I replaced the studs on. So, but basically just undo them. And then let's see here. Got a couple more to undo. And guys, I just set this out of the way and put my lug nuts and stuff in it. So now I use my Milwaukee high torque half-inch impact and to take these off. Guys, I'm also using my mic today. I got it mounted right here, if y'all can see. I'll leave a link in the description. I still need to do a review on it. I may do that later today because the wind is blowing pretty good. So y'all let me know if y'all hear the wind in the background, because like I said, the wind is blowing pretty good. So all right, so make sure it's on reverse. This thing's got technically 4 levels, but it's got 1, 2, 3, and then I don't know if it's a drill or impact or what that is, but we're on 1. We're gonna see if it take these off on 1. Yeah, maybe not. Let's try 3. Or let's try 2. Yep, it buzzed it on 2. All right. And guys, I've done a couple reviews on this before. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned it, but this thing puts out, I think on the highest setting, it'll put out, I think, a little bit over 1,500 foot-pounds of torque. So, well, you done got stuck in there. Let me put it back on. There we go. Just sort of knock it loose. Make sure I'm going the right way again. And the ones it's getting stuck on, guys, is my older lug nuts. So they're probably wore out. The new one's just not getting stuck on. So, all right. All those are off. Set that out of the way. And guys, after I get this tire off, I'm going to show y'all. I still got some more problems I need to fix. My ball joints are bad. So on this side, I believe it was the upper one. So this one right here. See if I can, I don't know if I can do this one-handed. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. But anyway, guys, if you ever replace your hubs and the bearings and everything, and you're still getting movement out of your tire, I would check this. To be honest with you, if you're getting movement out of your tire, I'd probably check this first, because this is going to be your cheapest route. Now, if you're getting like the roaring and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, you probably want to check your hubs, or probably change your hubs also. But if you're just getting movement out of your tire, a little bit of vibration, and your tires are balanced, all that stuff, I would check your ball joints first. So I got to check. I got to do this. I got the parts. I'm just not going to change them exactly right now, because I'm on they're still good for a few more trips. So I'm going to do a couple more trips, get up some more money, and then I'm going to change the tie rod ends. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I got to change those too. Guys, it doesn't make sense. If you're just changing your lower ball joint, then everything will be fine. But being you're going to be changing the top one, then you're going to have an alignment done after you get done. So, and then plus you want to make sure, which I go over this whenever I do it, but you want to make sure that everything's back as close to possible as you can get it, and then go straight to the tire shop. Or you can just buy the parts and then take it to the tire shop or somebody you trust and let them do it, so that way it's already there. I don't know which route I'm going to take. I like doing stuff myself, so I may go that route, get it back as close as I can, and I live about 15 miles from the tire store and just go straight there and have it aligned. But guys, it doesn't make no sense to do these if you have to replace the tie rod ends anyway, because you're going to have an alignment done here, and then if you wait say a month or two or whatever, and then trying to save up some more money and then come back and do your tie rod ends later, then you're going to have to go back and have an alignment done again for this one. Because this right here, it basically aligns your A-arm has to align the like up and down. This aligns side to side. And I know I'm getting off topic from the hub, but another thing I found out, guys, all the research I've done, I mean everything, calling the dealership, calling part stores, everything, Googled that on these newer vehicles like this, that you can get just the ball joint for the lower ball joint, but the upper ball joint is somehow pressed in, and you have to get the whole entire A-arm. So that sucks. But anyway, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to take off this spacer in order to get. Sometimes you can take off this cap if you have a, say like a 2500. I don't think the 2500s have this spacer on here. So you'll have to remove this little cover right here, this little aluminum cap. And then that way you can get into your axle nut in there. And I'll let you know what size that is whenever we get to it. But on mine, in order to get in to the stud or to the bolts in here, that takes a 21 millimeter. But what we got to do first, before we do any of this, loosen all this stuff up, we got to take our brake caliper off. So we're fixing to do that. All right, guys. So whenever you take your caliper off, one thing you can do to keep from having to compress the caliper and everything is take your screwdriver or something. Hopefully my head don't get in the way and I knock y'all over. But let me get in here, that way I can sort of see. Just sort of stick at them holes right there. And then just sort of pull that back a little bit. Just sort of compress it. Yeah. Sorry, my head's in the way. Sort of get in there. So I can tell right now they're loose. You don't want to like break your pads or anything, but all right. So you got two bolts in order to take this caliper off. You're gonna have one right here, and you're gonna have another one down here at the bottom. They're also gonna be 21 millimeter. So let me get my wrench and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So like I said, these are gonna be 21 millimeter. I can't get an impact in there, so these things are on there pretty tight, so I may have to take my hammer and just give it a little bit of lube taps. Or to break it loose. If you got a hammer, I mean, don't break anything, but I mean, if you can give it a few lube taps, then do that, save on your back. So we'll leave that in there, it's loose, and then we're gonna get the bottom one. And the bottom one is, if I can feel it, let's see here. It's gonna be right there. I don't know if y'all can see where that is. You probably can once I get my head out of the way. So, same thing. Give a couple of little taps. Break it loose. Just don't get your hand. And I may have to get some. Y'all, I know I'm in the way. Well, that one don't look like it's gonna budge. Let's see. Just trying not to hit my hand. I may have to turn the wheel. So I can get an impact in there. Yeah. All right, let me turn the wheel. All right, guys, so I just turned the wheel basically to the left, and that brought the wheel back in that way so I can get that bolt with impact. But one thing I want to show y'all real quick, as y'all can see, I got a floor jack right now. Now, I did have a bottle jack to where that run off air, and I'm going to show. I'm gonna throw a little picture in here real quick, and I'm going to show you what happened whenever I was not paying attention and I was getting in and out, turning the wheel back and forth so that way I could get to different bolts, and I just wasn't paying attention, and I almost screwed up. And whenever I say I almost screwed up, I almost severely screwed up. Guys, I always stress about securing your vehicle properly, using a jack stand, putting that up underneath there, making sure everything's good. Guys, I want to emphasize, I used to do this in all my videos. I do not do it anymore, but I'm fixing to start back. Is, guys, do this at your own risk. I am not responsible for any damages. I am not responsible for any injuries or God forbid a death or anything like that. So always, if you're out here doing this by yourself, guys, always make sure that somebody knows what you're doing. Let them know. Say, hey, if you don't hear from me in, say, so many minutes or whatever, or check on me, say, every 15 minutes. If you don't hear from me, try to call me. If you can't get me, then come over here and check on me. My son, he's on his way over here right now. He went to Birmingham for a concert with him and his girlfriend, but but he's gonna stop by before he goes home. And but anyway, guys, I can't stress that enough. This stuff right here, it seems simple and everything, but this stuff can hurt you, if not kill you, because these trucks are heavy. And so I'm gonna throw that picture up. All right. So, all right, so now we're gonna get back to this. I'm put my phone back up here, and hopefully y'all can see that. So, get my impact out. Get 21 millimeter, and hopefully I can get this big old impact in there. I hope so. All right, make sure I'm loosening it. Yeah, put that on now. I know my head's in the way. All right. All right. That was a lot better. So take these out. Got a little bit of pressure right there. Before I take that other one out, I'm going to grab something else real quick. All right, guys. Should have been more prepared. But whenever you take this brake caliper off, get you something to hang it with. I think they make like a caliper hanger or whatever it's called. But these little rubber bungee straps. You can get these things for like $1 or $2 or whatever, probably at Walmart. Get a pack of them. And the only thing you need is that metal hook. So take that little metal hook off. Set it to the side because you're going to need it here in a minute. Another thing, guys, a little magnetic tray. These things come in all kind of different sizes. Guys, go check out C Farmer's video. He has a mat. It's just a flat mat. You can roll them up and tuck them away and everything, but you just put them on the side of your vehicle and you throw your bolts and nuts and washers and all that stuff on there. But I got this, and I'm just going to set it right there on the side. So But the reason you need that little hook is because you do not want to damage your brake line. So let me get situated here. I'm getting too old to be squatting. So, all right, guys, you remember we compressed the caliper a while ago while it was still on there, and then we're just gonna move it out of the way. Now your brake pad may fall out, hopefully not. So just take that hook and just get it somewhere out of the way. We're gonna set it right there. All right, so in the back part of this, like I said, first you got to take your hub off, or the spacer. You got to take that off first. But you got 4 bolts back here. Oh, hopefully y'all can see that. Hold on. All right. You got 4 bolts. You got one right there. You got one over there. And then you got one right there. And then you got one right on the other side. Now, these 3 right here we might can get the way that the wheel's sitting right now. But on the other side, that bottom one, we're definitely going to have to turn the wheel again. So, all right. And guys, those also take a 21 millimeter. All right, guys. So, all right, on these, we got the wheel cut to the left right now. We're going to try to get these 3, definitely 2. But you need a 21 millimeter. You're going to need a little short extension and a ratchet. So just put them on there, and they're going to be tight. If you got a small enough impact, you may be able to get them with them. Or if you got one of them swivel sockets, you can probably do that. Which I got a swivel socket, but well, we're just going to do it this way. All right. So you got that. And then you just work your way around. All right, guys. So I actually started on taking them 4 bolts on the back to take the hub off. I started that first, but I forgot. I almost skipped a step. And something just fell. I guess a limb or something. Anyway, if you have a spacer, you got to take that spacer off first. Or, I mean, it's going to be heavy with the spacer and the rotor, or you can just take your cap off. But in this case, it's easier just to take the spacer off. So, 21 millimeter. And you're going to have to basically put the socket in, take an extension, go through the hole. Then we'll take our impact. Make sure I'm going the right way. And then you'll just take each one of them off all the way around. You'll have to take the socket out of the, so you just put that right there. Go around, put your socket on there, go through the next hole. And just work your way around all the way. Set that out of the way. You just pull the spacer off. Set it to the side. Take your rotor off. Set it to the side. Alright. So you can do it one of 2 ways. You can take the axle nut off first, or you can take the 4 bolts off first. If you take the axle nut off first, then that's going to put pressure and stuff on these bolts. So we're just going to loosen up these bolts for right now. And then we'll come back and do this. Guys, you can also spray some penetrating oil and stuff on these bolts, because you got dirt and crud and all that kind of stuff in there. We had to turn the wheel. Now guys, you're gonna have to disconnect your ABS sensor line, because that way you don't break it, because it's built into the new hub. So get you one of these little tools right here, and these little prying tools, or you can use a screwdriver if you ain't got one. Just be careful, especially on this first one right here. You do not want to break them little studs off in there, because then you're gonna have a hard time getting your new one on. So just get behind there and just sort of get in there and just sort of pry it out. So I can get in there. I know I'm probably in y'all's way. And I just broke one off. So, all right. So we'll see. Now, you ain't got to worry about this part, because it comes with new ones. But that piece right there, we're going to try to see if we can't get that out. Hopefully we can. Maybe I got enough right there and give me some little needle nose pliers and pull it out without breaking it anymore. But you got another one up here on mounted on the back side of the AR, not the AR, but the knuckle. Sort of wiggle that out. And you got another one right here on the part of the frame. That little part that holds the shock on. All right, so we got that out. Now, right here, some of them have a little red tab that you got to pull up. And I don't know if y'all can see that real well. I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can, but mine doesn't have the little red tab. So you just press that button right there, and you should just pull right on out. You don't want to break that wire off going to the truck. I ain't worried about the one going right here to the hub, because that's going to be replaced anyway. But you do not want to break the one on the truck side. So basically that's all you do. So you get that out of the way, and then I don't know if y'all can see that wind blowing, guys. Let me know about my mic. Let me know, make sure it's still on, still recording. Yep. So let me know how it sounds if y'all hear the wind. All right. Well, we're going to get in here to this one. If I can get it. There we go. All right, this is going to be pushing down. I may have to take my little hammer. Give it a couple of little taps. Break it loose. Here we go. And she slipped off. So like I said, guys, don't take them all the way out because we still got to take this out. I'm going to show you a little trick on this right here on the axle. All right. Yeah. And that's all it is, guys. All right. So my son just pulled up. I got to go do something for him, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. So I just got back from, had to go help my son do something. So I got 2 of the bottom bolts out of the hub on the back side, and I still got the 2 top ones in. I got them loosened. But this axle nut right here on this truck is going to take a 34 millimeter. So we're going to put that on. And then, so make sure I got it going backwards. Yep. So we're going to take this axle nut off. All right. Whenever you take this axle nut off, don't just take it completely off and then start pulling on the hub. And because what you could end up doing is you could end up pulling the whole axle shaft out from in there, and then inside that boot and stuff in there, then you're going to be messed up. So loosen it up, leave it a little bit on the ends, a few threads, so that way you can take a hammer and just sort of pop the axle back in, and that will loosen it up, the splines up from the hub. So all right, so we got this thing set on 2. Let's put it on 1. Let's just see what it do on 1. All right, so that's on 1. And this back, I mean, it was sitting there impacting and vibrating and stuff like that, but I mean, it was backing it off easy. So if you just had it on 2 or 3, it'd probably went right off. So, all right. Make sure I don't lose my nuts. Yeah. Put that up there. So just take your hammer. Get this stuff out of the way. Make sure you back that nut off enough to where you're not hitting the actual axle part right there. And you can see it move. So basically you're just loosening it up. So now we're going to finish taking these back ones out. If I can get in there to them, because I straightened my wheel back up. Alright guys, whenever you pull this off also, this little shield plate right here, remember the orientation, the way it's supposed to go. Because you end up putting it on backwards, you're not going to be able to put your caliper back on. You're going to take all this stuff all back off. So just remember the way it's supposed to go back on. Alright. And then also, whenever you're pulling this off, just make sure that the axle's not coming with it. So what you can do is you can probably take your thumbs, put right there on that bolt right there, push it in while you're sort of wiggling it off a little bit. And all right, so it came off a little bit. So get it loose from back here. Take your thumb and just sort of push in on that axle. We'll take that off. And see that shield plate? It just comes right off. And then so you got your axle right here. Everything still turns, so everything's still connected. So, and I'm gonna take a wire brush and I'm gonna clean that edge up around there. And let's see what this thing sounds like. See if it's got any movement. I don't really see no movement. And it's tight to turn. And guys, the hub may not have been the problem. I mean, I don't know. But 308,000 miles, I'm sure it was ready to be replaced. So we're gonna set that over to the side. I'm gonna get my wire brush, clean that up, get the other hub over here, and then we'll be ready to start putting this thing back together. All right, guys, so got all that cleaned up. And we got the new hub. So, hope y'all can see that. They get it up here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So it's the precision hub assemblies. And part number is gonna be 620302. So 620302. And see, open this bad boy up. Of course, it tells you right there, stop, don't use an impact, and use a torque wrench. Guys, here in just a minute, I'll go inside. I got to get the spec sheet for all the bolts. On the hub, I don't know if the spec sheet is for this hub, or I don't know if it's for the factory hub that was on it. All right, get that out of the way. Get this thing out of the box now. Put this other junk in the box so it don't blow away, because it's a little windy out here. And the box may end up blowing away. Alright, so undo this wire right here. Try not to break anything, because you definitely don't want to break a wire on this new hub assembly. So, yeah, that one does spin a whole lot easier than that old one. So, alright, so what you want to do, alright, this is the part, yep, set this thing back up. So this is the part that's going to go, this side is going to go to the inside of the truck. So the two holes that are closer together, those are going to be on top. And then, like I said, guys, do not forget, let me clean this up real quick. Put your shield plate back on. And guys, this is the same way. You're either going to put it on there that way or that way. Because like I said, you got the holes that are close together here, they're further apart down here at the bottom. But just remember, the caliper is going to go on this side. So the round part needs to go towards the front. So, see if I can get this done and still get y'all where y'all can see. We'll just sort of set it up there. Hopefully that wind will stop blowing. It may not. May just have to get up there a little bit or put it over this. So the wire will go, let's go in there like that. Get your wire over here. And your wire is going to go in between that little cutout right there. So just like that. And then your wire be come up over here. So just take your wire, get it back out of the way. And you got some little grooves, like little pins or whatever that's pushed out right there. That'll sort of help hold it in place. So, let's see if we can't get this bad boy on here. Alright, so I got it started through the splines. You gotta readjust this, get that in place. Just sort of shove it on there a little bit more. And what you can do to sort of help hold it. Take your washer. Now guys, if you want to put some anti-seize on here, you can. I don't have any. So we'll take my impact. I'm not going to tighten it down. I'm just going to get it snugged up against there. We switch it, put it on. I'm going to put it on 3. Alright. Get that set right there. Make sure you're not pinching your cable. Alright. So you can set it, bring that axle in a little bit more. Don't get carried away with it. So take your bolts, go through the back side. You may have to adjust. Get my knee under here to hold it. So get your plate right there. Get everything lined up. Alright, so we got those 4 back bolts done. Alright, so I'm going to run inside, get the torque sheet. I do know the axle nut is supposed to be torqued to, like I said, I don't know if it's for the precision or if it's for the or the factory one that was on here. I don't know. So the bearings inside this could be a little bit different from the factories as far as the set and preload. But according to the sheet of the truck, it calls for 177 foot-pounds of torque. We're going to set it at 170. I still got to go back after I get this side done, go back and reset the one on the driver's side, because guys, I don't know if y'all know this or not, and y'all may know it, and y'all may think I'm stupid for not knowing it, and that's okay. But I did not know that whenever you get done with your torque wrench, you're supposed to set it back to 0. Otherwise, it'll, over time, mess the spring up, and then it won't be calibrated right. I may be stupid for not knowing that. I don't know. I've just always set it or let it sit where whatever I had it on the last time. But whenever you get done with your torque wrench, always set it back to 0. So mine only went up to 150 foot-pounds. So, and then plus I always let it set, so it's probably out of calibration. So on the other side, I went to, I think as far as I could get it to tighten down to was 136. So I set it at 136, and then I put a little bit more into it, and hopefully get it somewhere close to 170. So you don't want to over tighten them, and you don't want to get them, you don't want to under tighten them, because you could burn the bearings up inside this hub, and then that's just going to be a waste of money. So you need to try to get it as close as you can. So a friend of mine, he's a diesel mechanic, and he let me borrow one of his snap-on torque wrenches. It goes up to like 250, and so that's what I'm going to set it at. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to compare to see just how bad out of calibration mine actually is. So I'm probably going to set it like 120 on mine, and then compare it to his, and just see how bad mine's out. But as far as that axle nut, it shows 177. We're going to do it at 170. So, but we'll be right back. All right, guys. So, I done torqued down the back 4 bolts. Those are torqued to 133 foot-pounds. So, I went and got my sheet, and I was looking at it, and then I went back and looked at a screenshot of something I Googled, a mechanic forum on my truck for this. According to the paper I had printed out, it showed from that O'Reilly's printed out for me. It says the spindle nut, and I don't know if that's the same as an axle nut or not, but it did say the hub to knuckle assembly, that was 133 foot-pounds on both. On the paperwork, it showed that this was 188 foot-pounds. According to the mechanic forum I saw, it said 177. So I'm gonna do it at 177. And then whenever y'all just saw me put it on with this impact, guys, like I've said before, this thing is stout. And y'all saw I didn't hammer on it like a lot. I mean, I did a little bit, but not a lot. And it done probably good. It set that bearing in there. But I took my friend's snap-on, and this thing goes up to 250. I set it at 200, and it clicked. So that bearing I had set for over 200 foot-pounds. So yeah, I went back and backed it off, and then what I done, just to make sure that my little old torque wrench right here, it goes up to 150. I was trying to compare to see if this one was still in calibration or not, and I think it is. So I don't think I've messed it up. But so I set this one on 120 and set this nut, and then I went back with his and set it at 120, and it was the same. So I think mine's still good. It still doesn't go up as high as what I need it to go, but it's still good. So we're gonna set mine out of the way. And then, so with his, like I said, his goes up to 250. It's a snap-on. And, man, this thing's nice. Of course, I think he paid a pretty good penny for it, too. So, but anyway, we're fixing to set this nut. What I done to keep the hub from spinning, I just took me a pry bar, put in between a couple of the studs, and then I could probably turn the wheel and get a little bit of better position. I tried going the other way, and I just couldn't put down enough pushing down on it, so without getting my head and stuff all into the bumper. So I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna pick up on it. So, but we're gonna set it to 177. All right, and that seems like that was it. That didn't seem like, there wasn't much difference between them. I'm gonna back this off a little bit. I'm gonna test this again. I didn't really like that. So, yep, got to reposition, put this on this side now. That just didn't seem too much different between 120. May have been. So I'm going to set this thing back on 120. Set it. Then we're going to move it up to 177. So just see how much big difference it is. Alright, so there's 120. Alright, so put that there. Like it. So there's 120. So now we're going to go up to 177. And I may do 180 because one said 177, one said 188. So we're going to try 177. Yeah. Alright, so I let it click and I gave it just a tad more. So that should be good. Like I said, guys, you don't want to get too loose. You don't want to get too tight because you can burn that bearing up. Set that out of the way. So, I already got my plate on, hubs on, the 4 bolts on the back. They're set at 133 foot-pounds, all 4 of them. This is set at probably roughly 180 foot-pounds. So the only thing I got left to do is put my sensor back on. So now where I broke that off earlier, I did get that out. Basically, I had to take a drill bit, and you don't want to drill the hole out. You just want to drill that little plastic piece that broke off out. So get you one just slightly smaller than the hole, and then just drill that plastic, and it'll come on out. So you got this. We're going to plug that back in there. And then, so that's in there. Then you got this other piece. And it goes, there's a spot on the back side of the knuckle. I'm not going to bring y'all over here, but there's a spot over there. Y'all just put that in there. And then we will plug the sensor in first. Make sure I'm going the right way, huh? And yeah, we'll plug that in, and then we'll stick the. So just plug it in till it clicks. And then you'll take them little rubber grommets and stick in there, and all that stuff's good. Make sure it's out of the way. Make sure it ain't gonna catch on anything. And then what we do now is just make sure all the dust and everything's off everything. So, yeah. So now we will put our rotor back on. Get this old heavy son of a gun over here. All right, so take your little rag. You can probably take a little bit of brake cleaner, clean it up. I'm just going to use a rag. Just get all your fingerprints, get all the dust and stuff like that that's on the rotor. Get all that stuff off. So that way it's not getting into your brake pads. You got that old dust right there. Some of these things have like a little bolt that just basically snugs the rotor up to the hub. Mine does not have one. I mean, it has the hole for one, but mine didn't have one on it. But if you want to, you can line those holes up. And so mine is going to be my holes right there. And I got the hole right there. So we're just going to go ahead and line them up. All right. Take our spacer. Put that back on. Take a little nuts. We'll screw them on, get them started. Get them tight. And then we'll just start putting the rest of them on. Alright, so we got all them on. Guys, I do not know the torque specs for this. I just snug them up pretty good. I'm going to use my impact. I'm going to put it on probably 1 or 2. And then I'll come back and just, I don't know, I may test to see what the torque is on them. But anyway, see, find my other extension. If I can find it wherever I'm done with it. There it is right in front of me. So that on, I'm gonna set this on. I'm gonna set it on 1 for right now. So just same way you took them off. Just put your socket in there, then just go through the hole. Well, help if I go in the right way. Like I said, guys, that's only on 1. So, and let me get my. We'll go ahead and do a cross pattern. All right, so got that done, and I'm just gonna check a couple of them. I'm gonna put it about, yeah, I'm gonna put it about 150. Probably don't call it for that much, but that's what I'm gonna see. And that probably right there done it on its own. That probably over torquing, but oh well. All right, so there's 150. Like I said, guys, I'm only gonna do a couple of them. All right, I'm gonna have to get my bar. Whew, guys, this board is helping with all these rocks, but it still ain't good for an old man. Well, get this on there. Here we go. All right. So I may go ahead and do all of them at 150. Maybe too tight, but all right, so all those are torqued. Let me take me a little break. If I can get up. All right, guys, so got all that stuff put back on. Get that out of the way. Make sure my mic's still, yeah, still recording. Or still on, so spin that. Yeah, see, this side feels like it spins better than that other side. I think I got that other side too tight. So I'm going to go back and do it. But yeah, that spins. That seems like it spins good. So, yeah. And I don't feel any play in it. So, said 177. One of them said 177. One said 188. I put it at about 180. So, hopefully that's good. That's one thing I worry about, guys, is the daggum wheel coming off. Because y'all seen my other video where I lost the wheel studs. So, anyway. So I'm finna put the caliper back on, and so just take your brakes, your brake pads, and just sort of push them back up in there a little bit. And then, guys, I'm wanting to think I saw somewhere where them bolts was torqued down to like 233 foot-pounds. I can't remember where I saw that, and I can't find it anymore. I do know them things was on there tight. So I'm not going to torque them, but I'm going to put them back on tight. So, all right. So I got my sensor plugged back in, wires out of the way, hubs on, rotors on, all the nuts and bolts and all that stuff's in. Guys, before you start putting this stuff back together, go ahead and check everything. And before I put my wheel on, I'm going to show y'all what's going to be the next project. So y'all stay tuned. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so that way you know whenever I post new content. So, but I am going to be replacing the upper ball joint, which I got to replace the whole A-arm because it comes as one. I'm going to be replacing the lower ball joint. And then, which I already have all those parts. I'm just waiting to get the tie rod ends and replace those. So that way I can replace all that stuff together and then take it and have it aligned. Because it doesn't do no good to replace this and then go get an alignment, and then you got to come back and replace this, and you got to go get another alignment. That's just wasted money. So I'm going to wait till I get some little bit extra money, get the tie rod ends, and then there's going to be other things I'm going to be replacing, guys. I'm going to be replacing the, I think it's called the pitman arm or something like that, and a couple more things up underneath here. I'm going to be checking my bushings. Of course, whenever I replace the A-arms, they're going to be getting new bushings. I'm going to check the ones down here and on the lower ones and make sure they're good. But see, like these boots right here, guys, I don't know. That's sort of bad, but I do know this this one right here is bad. This ball joint, I do know it's bad. It's not completely coming apart yet, but whenever I pick the wheel up, you can see it moving. And then on the other side, it's the lower one. So, anyway, I don't want to get off topic. All right, guys, so I got everything put back together. Got my caliper compressed. Got it put back on. I torqued them down to 230. They was, like I said, they was tight whenever I took them off, so I put them back on tight. But they, got the hub tightened, the axle nut torqued to about 180. It calls for like 177 to 188, depending, I don't know. The 4 bolts on the back, those are torqued down to 133. The caliper is torqued down to about 230. I do not know the torque for these bolts right here that hold the spacer on, but I just tightened down. I think I tightened them at 150. I think they seem pretty tight. And then I do not know the torque for your actual wheel studs. I do them by hand or by feel. So, like I was saying, so that's pretty much done. Got the ABS line, got all that hooked back up. Hook it right there. Plug it in right, or hook it back in right there. You got another little tab right there, and then it plugs in right there. So, like I said, some of the things I still got, get this stuff out of the way here. Some of the things I still got to replace. The movement in my tire is actually coming from this upper ball joint. It's bad. So I got to replace that. And then, like I said, for some reason on these new ones, they, I don't know, but you got to replace the whole arm. So replacing that, I've already got the parts for that. Replacing the lower ball joint, and then I need to get some little boots. I need to replace those. They're all dry rotted. Replace the tie rod ends. I'm gonna go ahead and replace those on both sides. And same thing with the upper and lower ball joints. I'm replacing those on both sides. And then let's see here, what else? There's a couple more things up underneath there, right up in there, that I'm gonna be replacing. And but the next project is going to be the ball joints and the tie rod ends. So replacing those, getting in the line. I'm leaving tomorrow, going to get a camper coming back down here to Indiana, or not going up to Indiana, coming back down here to Belden. Get that done, and then I'll be due for an oil change. So be changing my oil, fuel filter, transmission spin-on filter, rotating the tires, and then I will do another run, and then that should give me enough to replace the get the ball joints, get them ordered, and then get all this stuff replaced, and then taking it and having alignment done. And hopefully that fixes my hold on, it's wind picking up and I got rags blowing all over the place. So I don't know if y'all can see it on this tire. Actually, this tire is not really that bad. But I don't know if y'all can sort of see. This tire came off the back last time I had it rotated, and it was flat all the way across. So you can sort of see how I sort of got little humps right there. Like one stud's low, other stud's high, other stud's low, other stud's high. I think that's sort of where my roaring is coming from. So, but anyway, guys, I don't know if this was a long video. I got it broken up in so many different parts. I'm gonna have to go back and edit it and everything. But that's pretty much the process. Them hubs may not have been bad, but like I said, 308,000 miles. I'm sure they probably needed it. I was thinking that they was bad because I was having the roaring sound, and then also the movement in the tire whenever I took the pry bar. But come to find out, moving the pry bar, the movement in the tire is actually coming from the actual ball joints. So like I said, I'm gonna be replacing those, and after I get that done, everything's tight, then I shouldn't have any more wearing on my tires. The roaring, like I said, could be coming from my tires after I rotate them, and I put the flat ones, another set of flat on the front, and to get them sort of rounded off, smoothed out. If that does not fix my roaring problem, then I may start looking at the rear wheel seals, or the wheel bearings in the rear. It sounds like it's coming from the front, but from being inside the cab going down the road 60 mile an hour or more, I just don't know. So it could be coming from the back and sending the noise through the frame, making it sound like it's coming from the front. I don't know. But anyway, I noticed my jack's starting to sink, so we're gonna get this tire put back on before this thing falls. I got all this, it's been raining and wet and muddy out here, so I need to get that done. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Guys, I hope this helps somebody out. If it's a long video, I apologize, but I was trying to get as much detail as I could. I'm hoping y'all was able to see everything. And most of the things I used, I will leave a link in the description if you want to go check it out. And but guys, if y'all don't mind, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Really appreciate it. I'm almost at 1,000 mark. Guys, please help me get there. It don't cost anything. Just reach up there and hit the button. That's payment enough. So, but But anyway, get his tire put back on, and then I got get over to the driver's side, take that tire and the spacer off, and so that way I can get in there to that axle nut and retorque it. So because I think it's going to be too tight right now, so I got to get that done so that way I don't run or burn anything up. So, but guys, wish me luck. I hope this fixes my problem, and hope it lasts for a while. So, so we'll get back with y'all on the next one. As always, y'all be safe. Semper Fi.